What is up, good people? We're having a look at Samsung's Family Hub fridge, something that I've really wanted to have a look at since these fridges came out way back in 2016 and 2015. Massive beast of a fridge with about 670 liters of storage space in the fridge and in the freezer. And as you can see here, it's got 4 doors, and that's the French door style that I have here. And of course, it's got the tablet and it's got the ice and water dispenser on the left hand side there. Pretty massive in terms of size. It's a 1825 millimeters in height, and the depth is about 908 millimeters, and the width is 733 millimeters. So it's definitely up there among one of the biggest fridges out in the market. Now this thing is a pretty expensive unit, which to most people, you look at the price when you go to the shops, it costs about $2,000 US to about $3,000 US, depending on the model that you want to get. In Australia, it's about 3,000 US Australian dollars to 5,000 Australian dollars. But it's one of those purchases that you make every 5 or 6 years or every 10 years. So in terms of the price, I don't think it's really a factor in this. It's if you like the fridge. If you like it, then it's worth it, because this thing, you're gonna have it over 5-10 years. And if you're gonna have something for that long, you want it to have the right features. Something that I really love about this fridge is these recessed door handles. There's no door handles that are protruding out there. It's just nicely in there. Really nice touch that I love. And this nice silver finish on the outside is really nice. And this brushed sort of grayish look to it. I really love that finish that they've put on it. And as you can see at the bottom as well, you've got those recessed door handles. Now this will be different across different models. So the model that you plan to get might have a different door handle, but this is the model that I particularly liked with these door handles. And as you move over to the left hand side, you've got the ice and water dispenser. So this will be your ice and water dispenser. You've got your cubed ice here and your crushed ice. You can select whatever you want from this section. Of course, if you want water, you just put your glass through there. I haven't plugged mine in, and there's a light there as well to show you what you're doing. For you to have water and ice coming out through that side of the fridge, you have to plumb it in at the back. There's a small water hose that you connect to your main plumbing. That has to be done by a professional plumber, or if you're up for it, you can do it yourself. But it's nothing that a fridge without this tablet doesn't have. So most manufacturers out there, Westinghouse, LG, they'll all have French door fridge with water and ice dispensers. Same thing, crushed ice, cubed ice, water dispenser. And of course, these water dispensers, they have filters in them to filter your water. So instead of buying bottled water, you can actually save up on that and just use the water that comes from your fridge, because you've got a filter inbuilt in the fridge itself. And when it comes time to change that filter, the fridge itself will actually tell you what to change and when it's due to change. So a pretty cool feature that I like about this fridge is that it gives you a reminder when you leave the door open on your fridge. And it's not like one of those that you get that are blaring out at you to close the door. It's nice and subtle, and I'm sure if you do connect it through your Samsung SmartThings app, you've got the option to connect this to Wi-Fi, so that if you even forget closing the door, I see it handy in that if you're going out, if you forget to close the door, it'll send a notification to your phone, and then you can come and close the door, or you can tell someone to close the door, your neighbor or whoever's at home at that moment can close the door for you. And it just doesn't end there. You close the door, and once it's done that, it's gonna do rapid cooling, precise cooling. So the door, it tells you the door was open for about 2 minutes. So this thing is going to try and get this thing up to temperature. It's pretty smart, pretty smart feature. Instead of just your things having sat there without some cold running through it, it's going to try to get it up to temperature as fast as possible to get your things nice and cold again, which is something that I haven't seen from many fridges, many manufacturers. So it does justify that $3,000 price tag on this fridge. Now, while this might not be the current model or the newest model, it is sort of built around the same platform. And I really love how when Samsung first came out with these fridges, they were crazy expensive. Like with any tech, when it first comes out, it's crazy expensive, but then they begin to make models that are more affordable for everyone. So when they first started coming out, they were probably about $5,000, and now you can get one for about $2,000, so which is pretty good. For most fridges out there, you'll be spending $1,000 to get a fridge, but with this, you spend an extra $1,000, then you've got yourself a family hub fridge with a tablet on it and all these cool features. It also has Flex Zone, which is something that Samsung has had in a lot of its previous models and in a lot of its French door fridges. So the Flex Zone is in this compartment here. So this compartment, you can choose it to say what you want it to be. So you can adjust that within the settings on this fridge. So something that usually bugs me is when you buy ice cream, it's nice and soft, and then you put it in the freezer, then it's rock hard. So something that you can do with this one is you can then change the zones in this fridge to select which zone you want it to be. So with Flex Zone, you're just moving through the menus, then you can select your fridge using this tablet, and then you can see that the main fridge section is about 3 degrees, and you can select all you want. But what we're mainly focusing on is this Flex Zone on this right hand side. So I've selected this side, and I can select what I want to be putting in that. So obviously I've selected soft freeze because it's perfect for my ice cream. It's going to be running at about -5 degrees. If you choose, you can make it meat and fish one, -1 degrees. If you want, keep the meat and fish in a non-frozen condition. We all know how when you freeze meat, somehow for me, like the taste changes once you've frozen it. So maybe you want to use that compartment to put the meat that you want to cook in a day or two, making sure that it doesn't get cold, it doesn't get frozen, but stays cold enough to stay fresh. Then of course you can have your cheeses and your vegetables in there. And I'm sure a lot of people might love to have their white wine chilled in there. And then there's that reminder again telling you that you've left that door open. So a pretty handy section that I love here, the Flex Zone, cool select. See, you can only select this side though, the right hand side of the fridge, to be the one that does the Flex Zone. So you can choose what you want to do. The other sides are just preset as they are, but it's pretty cool what you can do with this Flex Zone side. Definitely worth the extra $1,000 or so that you're paying for this fridge. Another cool thing that Samsung's done with this fridge is it's a pretty massive unit, but they've made the doors really nicely detachable. Detachable enough to be able to put it in your house. Now, I had to detach the doors off mine to be able to put it inside this house because it's a pretty massive unit. It won't fit through a standard door. But to remove these 4 doors, it's pretty simple. Samsung's made it simple enough by at the top here, you just flip a little switch or little clamp, and then you can remove the door. All you need is like a Phillips head screwdriver for the bottom ones to be able to take them out. So something that I haven't seen many manufacturers do. It's a pretty big task on most fridges to remove these doors, but Samsung's made it easy enough on this model, which is something that I really recommend. Like if you're looking for a big fridge to buy something that you'll be able to move easily by removing the doors, and then you won't be denting this nice finish. You don't want to get scratches and big dings in this nice brushed aluminium grayish looking steel. It's pretty nice. You have to keep it that way. And of course, if you want to do your fridge magnets like most people do want to do, I recommend you do it on the side. If you do it on the front, it's not going to stick. And if it does stick, you're going to ruin this finish. On the inside, it's got a lot of space and a lot of storage options. Now, it's not good enough to just have the storage. You also need to have flexible storage. And as you have a look inside this zone at the bottom, the fresh zone, easy fresh zone, you can put your veggies in here or your fruit in here. Plenty of space for all that stuff in here. And there's an additional locking mechanism that you have here in case you don't want your kids getting in there or other people getting in there for your fruits and veggies. You can turn it on and off. You can control the humidity inside these compartments by sliding these little sliders here. Now that depends on what you've put in there, if you want low or high humidity, depending on the veggies that you've put in there. Then you've got different compartments here for all the other stuff that you want to add on there. Something that I really loved was this drawer here, this compartment here, which is adjustable. So you can fit big bottles like this. And many times you buy a lot of groceries and then you don't have enough storage bins. On the inside here, you've got your storage bins. You've got some on the left here. So the ones on the left, they're smaller because it's housing the dispensing for the ice and the water. And also it's accommodating the ice maker here. So you've got less storage here for things like bottles and stuff. You can probably put things like margarine tubs or mayonnaise and stuff like that. Not really for big stuff. The big stuff, you can put it in this compartment on the right hand side here. So on the right hand side, you can put your big bottles and whatever is bigger than this side. Something that's really important as well, you get extra storage because many a times you buy a lot of bowls, milk, cordial, fizzy drinks, whatever you get, and you don't have enough space for all of them, or even wine, but you've got that flex zone for your wine in there. But this compartment here, well, this drawer can be adjusted. So this is flexible, so you can move it up and down, and now it's a normal shelf. So you can adjust this, which is something that I haven't seen many manufacturers do, but something that I know a lot of you out there will appreciate and make use of. So definitely worth spending that extra bit to be getting things like that, because you don't see it every day in most fridges. And I love me some extra storage in the fridge so that things can stay in there upright. You can imagine trying to put something lying down in this fridge. Of course, all these heights are adjustable because you can pull out a drawer and put it to whatever size you want. So if you want to put a big pot, you can put it in there, but it's up to you. At the bottom here, you've got your freezer section and you've got your frozen section here. So you can make both of them frozen. And you've got these big storage bins, which you can use to store whatever you want. There's a shelf up top here and another compartment there for just putting your stuff in there. And so both sides are identical, and it's got side shelves in here to put other stuff. So definitely a lot of space in there. And of course, the right hand side is the one where you can make it a flexi zone to accommodate whatever you want to put it in there, be it white wine or ice cream or food that you want to cook that day. Tablet over here is controlled by touch, and you've got a couple of buttons on the bottom here, 5, which are just touch sensitive. So this first one is for you to be able to use the microphone off and on, which I've never used before, and judging from the way that we use Siri or other voice assistants, I don't think it's really necessary to be using that, so skip that. Then you've got this hamburger button here. That's just for all your menus here, so you can just clear them all from your menu, but you can keep them on there. That's just a quick menu that you can use there. And then this is your home screen. So if you ever wander somewhere else, like your settings, and they just want to return to the home screen, you use this button and then you're back in the home screen. And of course, that's a return button as well. So if you go somewhere like a shopping app and you want to return to a previous page, you can definitely just use this button to return to the page that you were at before you went to that page. So you can just go return and it'll return there. So which is pretty handy as well. And you've got the info button. So this is where it's going to give you any notifications and some quick access to some things that you want to do here. So from here, it's saying that the filter needs replacement. So that water filter that we were talking about before, you can see that it needs replacement from here, and it will remind you. So there's no need for you to keep track and say, oh, it's almost 3 months or 4 months, it's almost time to change it, because it will tell you when it's time to change it. And it will give you instructions on how to do it. You can also adjust the brightness of the screen using this slider. and you've got a slider here to adjust the volume of this unit. So it's got a speaker in it. It's not going to win any awards for being the best speaker out there. Definitely not going to have a rock concert in your kitchen, but it will do the job if you want to just cook and listen to music about. So that's about how loud it can get. Obviously, depending on the music, it's not going to have any big bass on it. I've definitely noticed on the newer models that they have a much better sound. Now, to play music, I'm currently using the Spotify app on this, which is something that I found pretty handy. So you can connect your Spotify account and you can listen to music here. And so you sort of like, you can go through the menus and select whatever music you want. Something that I really loved about it, because you don't have to touch your phone. You can use this tablet. Of course, if you've got grubby hands, then it's gonna leave marks everywhere, but obviously you're gonna be washing your hands. The screen is pretty nice, like easy to clean. So don't be worried about it being hard to clean up. So, and the volume, of course, increase it by there, and you can increase it using this slider. So with apps, you get your Spotify app. If you got TuneIn, you can use TuneIn. And I've got a couple of shopping apps on here. You can get the Woolworths app here in Australia, which is for your shopping. And with this, you can do something that's really handy for this. Like as things run out, you can add them onto your lists. You can put whatever you're running out onto a list, and then by that you can just order it right from here. So I ordered all this last time, so all I can do is I can just hit add to cart, and then it'll start shopping and it can be delivered to my door. So it's something that you definitely want to think of doing. On top of that, it's pretty cool that you've got an app showing you recipes on what to cook, and it's got lunch recipes. So you can go like, okay, an American club sandwich, I want to do that for lunch. And the handy thing about that is it's going to give you the ingredients that you need to do that meal prep. So you can get the bread, the cranberry sauce, oven roasted turkey breast, lettuce and tomato, sliced tomato. So then you can shop for all those things. So it's already has them in your cart, and you can just say add all to the cart, and it adds on to that cart. So definitely a plus for me in terms of meal prep, because you don't have to go and look on YouTube or look through a recipe magazine. It's got it right there for you, and you can get exactly what you need to cook that. So of course, if you're not using it for that, then it's okay as well, because then it's just something good to know that you have there. And looking through here, you can also have a look at what is inside the fridge. So you can see at any point in time what you have actually in the fridge. It's one of those gimmicky things that is good to have, but not really necessary. Of course, they can see there's milk in there. So, and then you can have a food list to say like when this is expiring and all that, but that's a lot of work that is unnecessary. You don't really need to do all that. And something that's really cool that me and my mates have been using in this house is this whiteboard. So you can leave messages for each other through here. So you can just say, go now, be back in 10. And when they come, so this is sort of like the central point of the house. So when they walk in, the first thing that we're doing is just looking at whatever note someone's left on the fridge. Okay, I'm gonna be back in 10, sort of thing. It's something that you have to experience, something that I found useful. Once you start doing it, you can't stop doing it. Something that I never knew I needed. Pretty cool. Of course, we can text each other, but handy to have that option as well. So definitely recommend that, and your kids will love it as well. The other thing is your kids can draw stuff on here and they can post it on there. You can even post family pictures on there. So with that, you can add your family pictures on there. So from here, you can see all these pictures that are in this album. So these can be your screensavers. So as you go, you can pass by and it will be showing you different pictures that you've shared on the family hub. So if you take a picture, something nice with the kids, and you want to post it on there, you can just send it through your Samsung phone, or if you've got Samsung Smart Things app, you can send it directly to this. Now, I haven't connected the Samsung Smart Things app on this fridge because I really don't need to do that. I don't have a Samsung phone and I'm not much for putting up photos on here anyway, but it's something good to know that you have that option if you ever need to do it. Life changes, you never know. So yeah, definitely recommend having one of these. Another thing you can do is you can actually play YouTube on this. So you can actually mirror what you're playing on your TV or on your phone onto this device. Pretty handy if you're watching something on Netflix and you've got to do the cooking. You can just stream it on here. You can mirror it, so you can put it on here. And of course, you can also access YouTube on here. Now, I assume the newer models, you can undo it through the app. But for me, I don't have the newer one, so I can just use my internet browser. So there's an internet browser here that you can actually use to do Google searches. I'll just search through YouTube. I'm gonna find something interesting that I want to watch, and maybe you want to watch the news. We are in lockdown, so yeah, maybe you want to watch the news while you cook. The volume is pretty okay for this unit. It's not that bad, and of course you can access that through that quick access menu. So pretty handy. I love that you can access volume controls from here.
In terms of regional Victoria,
so
there are far less cases in regional Victoria.
there you go. So, and you can go full screen. So I assume that with the newer ones, you can now sort of get 4K or better picture quality than this. But ideally, if you're in the kitchen, you're not really sitting down to watch all this unless like you got like a different setup where you've got an island bench and you've got island chairs and you can sit and watch all this. But it's something good to know that you've got that option and you can use it if you ever do need to use it. So worth that extra bit of money buying it. So if you're spending $1,000 or so on buying a new fridge, if you don't have a fridge, if you haven't upgraded in the past 5 years or 6 years, definitely something to look into, because you won't be upgrading for the next 10 years and technology has moved on forward so much that you've got this option. So while you've got these options, why not just spoil yourself a little bit, splurge a little bit and get this nice fridge. I'm not being paid by Samsung, but it's something that I found that's different that I really like. Now I know LG has the twice knock one where you can see what's inside, but it doesn't have this tablet. Like you cannot match what you've got with this tablet. Now it's a bit limited to what I have on this tablet. I got phone mirroring and all that. But you can get a whole lot more with this fridge. You get the Ring app, so for your doorbell. So if you got your doorbell installed at the front, you can actually have your calls come through here if people ring you from the door. And then you can see, oh, there's someone outside while you're in the kitchen. So something handy to have. And you also have Uber here. You can put the Uber app on here and then you can be able to get your ride, or even Uber Eats or Grubhub. You can put all that through this family hub, and it's robust. A lot of people think that this thing's going to break, but the glass that they've put on here is pretty strong. So kudos to Samsung for doing that. And I highly recommend, if you buy one of these, if you intend to buy one of these, ask as many questions as you want about it. You can ask me, or you can ask the salesperson or Samsung. And definitely I recommend that you get that extended warranty, because things do break down and you don't want to be on that expensive end at the end of your warranty and paying a lot of money to get this thing fixed. So definitely spending that extra $150, $200 to cover this fridge for an extra 3, 4, 5 years, so that if you run into any problems, it's not your problem. Samsung or whoever you got extended warranty with will take care of that. Overall, I like this fridge. There's a lot that you can do with it that I haven't touched in this video, but I've just touched on what I like about it. I wouldn't mind having it in my house because there's only a few times that I actually do an upgrade of devices like these. Another cool thing about this is you can actually have a look at the weather. So when you get up, you can see what time it is, you can see the weather for the next few days as well. So something that is really good to know. Good to know. Of course you can get it on your phone, but something handy, big phone in your kitchen, you can use it to get all the stuff you need. Definitely love having that Spotify app in my kitchen, playing all my music. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you. As always, please subscribe. It goes a long way to help out this channel. I'll be posting a lot more videos on newer things like this, like fridges and TVs and washing machines as well. I haven't given up on washing machines. I still have a lot more planned for you guys. And of course, I post videos on the problems that come up with washing machines. So be sure to put me in your inbox, subscribe, so that if you ever do have a problem come up with your washing machine, I'll be able to help you out. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.